We finished the last AMP in upper quartile status, and we're very proud of that. And we absolutely are lining ourselves up to continue with that performance as we move into the next periodic review and into the next AMP cycle. We really are investing very sensibly in our assets, in our network, in making sure our operation is as effective and as efficient as possible. And I think, over the last few years, we've seen our ODI performance, the last couple of years, I think are reflective of the fact that we are doing that. So there are 4 key focus areas that we are scrutinising and putting laser-sharp interest into to make sure that we are delivering against that ambition. The first one is that we clearly want to make sure that we're using technology to get the best possible ODI performance. So we're focusing our investment on that. We're also continuing to drive cost savings through our business through technology, such as automation and remote control. We're also using advanced modelling now to help us to make sure that we are investing in the right things to achieve the outcomes that we need to. And then finally, we are creating value streams through the recycling of many of our byproducts of our treatment processes. So we're going to focus in on some of the technologies that we are using to drive our customer ODI performance. So just to give you a flavour of some of the things that we are doing. The first thing we're going to share with you is a little bit about proactive asset management and how we're using automated decision-making tools to help us to prevent floodings and pollutions. Then we'll talk a little bit about how we're bringing our wider colleagues in to help us to spot issues, potential risks on our assets before they become a problem for our customers. Then we're going to have a look at SiteMate, and you'll hear this both on this stand and also on the water stand because we're sharing technologies across our areas. In this case, we want to share with you how we're using this particularly new application to help provide our frontline teams with the best possible chance of providing the best possible customer experience when they're out and about. And then finally on this part of the stand, we're going to share with you some exciting trials that we've got going around intelligent pumping stations.
What I'm going to do over the next few minutes is try and share with you some highlights that we're using in terms of improving our performance in pollutions and floodings. So both pollutions and floodings, they are what we call as our rate-making ODIs. So they're important in financial terms to us, but they're also important because they're customer-centric measures. They are the areas that our customers voted as most important to them. So we have extra focus on those areas. I'm going to talk about how we use automated decision making and how this is helping us diagnose problems more quickly and more effectively, how this is helping us look at speedy resolution and then overall improve customer experience. I'll also touch on a few examples on how we're looking at colleague engagement and wider customer experience. So we've consciously taken a decision to work proactively on both water and waste assets. And what this means is, if you picture it, we've got about 92,000 kilometres of sewers. They're under the ground. So very difficult for us to really find out where the next problem is likely to happen. So on our proactive journey, we've been using technology. We use a tool called Operational Decision Management tool. It's based in our control centre. And this tool helps us identify where a potential problem in our network could occur. It does this by linking in with our 1,000-odd loggers which are outside on our network about the weather data, and it links in with wider data from our hydraulic models. So linking all of these relevant pieces of information together, it helps identify if a sewer is likely to be blocked or there's likely to be a problem on the sewer. Once it sees a problem, it can automatically raise a job for our operational teams, and they can send out a maintenance crew. The maintenance crew helps resolve the problem, and this effectively helps save our customers from being impacted. So the idea is to do the job before a customer is effectively impacted by the job itself. We believe this proactive journey is helping us save about 50 pollutions a year, which is equal to about 3 million in penalties. So great for both our customers and the environment. Let's talk a little bit about colleague engagement. So on colleague engagement, we have a dedicated app squad in Severn Trent. Our dedicated app squad works really closely with our field teams and co-locates with them. This journey of kind of working closely with the field teams is helping them develop solutions and applications that makes the field team's job more effective. One of the apps they've developed is what we call as our Love Our Network app, and it simply does exactly what it does on the tin. So in many ways, it's a simple app which is leveraging the power of the smartphones that we've given out to all people in Severn Trent. This helps people record exactly what's going on. So if they're out on the site and they see an issue, wherever they are, whenever, at any time, they can report a problem. There's some simple questions that the app asks of them, which they have to kind of cover through. This then links into our control center, who can then send out the right crew to resolve the problem. What all of this does is it will improve customer experience and reduce unwanted calls into our business. We estimate this will reduce about 5,000 unwanted calls into the business itself. I'm going to touch a little bit about SiteMate. So Sarah talked a little bit about SiteMate in her introduction. And when you move into the water stand, they'll be talking a little bit about SiteMate as well. So I'm going to show you a different facet of SiteMate. So SiteMate is an application that we're rolling out not just to our own teams, but to our supply chain as well. So we believe quite closely that our supply chain should have exactly the same software and the technology that we use. SiteMate is an application that is designed to reduce the time it takes to diagnose problems. It does this by having all of the data about a customer. So every job history about the customer is fed into SiteMate. Super helpful information for a technician out on site to know exactly how the customer feels and previous job history before they're actually engaging with the customer itself. As a customer kind of deals with the job, he can update or she can update SiteMate, and this helps update our website automatically. On our website, we have a facility called Track My Job. So through the journey of the job, the customer and the field technician can know exactly what's happening on the job. Not only does it do this, but it also links into a customer feedback portal. And what the feedback portal does is keep a check on how the customer's feeling. So you're not tracking just how the job is progressing, but also how the customer's feeling through the journey of the job, all designed to improve customer experience. We believe this, in effect, will help us save costs overall on our sewerage model. So we're estimating roughly about 156K annually cost savings through this.
So clearly technology is evolving at a pace, and we're trying to create a real culture at Severn Trent where we're encouraging not just our colleagues but also our supply chain to bring great ideas to the table so that we can trial them very quickly and then work out what the return on investment might be. And what I'm excited to share with you now is one of those trials. This is about creating an intelligent pumping station, and we have one live in our site, in our area at Hopwood Services. We're working with our supply chain, in this case it's Costain and Fujitsu, to create this intelligent pumping station which takes sensor data from around the network and proximity to the pumping station and the station itself, and learns how to adjust itself based around the conditions that are occurring in the surrounding network at any point in time. Now, we see this as a real step change in the automation of the waste network, and we believe that actually it will deliver us a number of things. Now, clearly it's very early on in the experimental stage of this at the moment, but we're constantly monitoring because the belief is that it will help us in terms of further reducing pollutions and floodings, which is clearly very important to us. It will also reduce our cost base because we'll be able to automate a lot of the activity that we do. And finally, there is an awful lot of underutilised capacity within sewerage networks. So by using intelligent pumping stations and machine learning, we'll be able to utilise that capacity to its full extent and therefore reduce the investment that we need to put into our network going forward. So it's a really exciting time for us as we go forward, and this really is indicative of our whole approach to innovation now at Severn Trent, where we're increasingly getting faster to identify opportunities, fast to then trial them, and then fast to make a decision as to whether or not to stop or to scale based around the return on investment that we can demonstrate.